the important part for us to recognize is depression is different than demoralization. We use the word depressed all the time. Boy, it's hot and I'm very uncomfortable, I'm depressed. Oh, it's the weekend and it's raining, I'm so depressed. I didn't get the date with the girl I wanted, I'm so depressed. Or when I'm younger and I'm a teenager, I didn't make the team, I'm depressed. Or I failed the test, I'm depressed. All of those are part of the human condition that when bad things happen, we feel bad. We feel crummy, which is very different than depression, which is a true disorder that has a set of symptoms that last at least 2 weeks and exist every day, most of the day. And the important part for us to remember is that classic depression is different than atypical depression. So teenagers and that teenage brain is more susceptible to depression than children are, and certainly more than adults. So we have about 2 million teenagers in the United States who have depression, and we have about 35 million adults. So it sounds like adults are more likely. Well, we have less teenagers, and therefore the statistical risk is much higher when you're an adolescent to get depressed. And therefore, the big chemical that seems to be affected by this is serotonin. And if you don't have enough serotonin available in your brain, hanging around your brain, and if you're eating it too fast or metabolizing it too quickly, you are more likely to be anxious, more likely to be sad and irritable, more likely to be rageful. And the other chemical that's involved is norepinephrine. And those two chemicals, those neurotransmitters, when they're out of balance, you are more susceptible to full-blown depression. So I think the baseline we have to know about is what are the symptoms we're going to be tackling. And so basically, teenage depression is slightly different than adult depression. Adult depression, you lose both the appetite for the search or for the hunt, as well as the appetite for the feast. So I'm not going out and hunting at my age, but if I like 4 o'clock cappuccino and biscotti, I have to get out of my office and walk down the street and go to the Starbucks and get it and think about it. And while I'm hunting for it, I'm already enjoying it. And the feast is actually drinking the cappuccino and having the biscotti. If you are a teenager, you may stop wanting that pizza that you wanted always when school ends. But if someone gives you the pizza, you still can enjoy it and it still tastes good. When you're an adult and you get depression, if someone brings you the cappuccino and the biscotti, it feels like hot water and cardboard. So teenagers, when they get depressed, lose the hunt, but they still can have the feast. But the areas are appetite, sleep, sex drive, concentration, and mood. And teenagers who get depressed tend to be more irritable than sad. And the medicines that seem to work best are medicines that will affect serotonin. And so that the number one set of medications are the SSRIs. So Prozac was the first one, and there have been variations on that theme, whether it's Zoloft or Lexapro or Celexa, all of them developed to get into this market, as well as to try to get less side effects. The important part is that the old antidepressants, the tricyclics, Tofranil, Elavil, were cardiotoxic. If you took too many of them, you could actually die. With Prozac-like substances, you have to have a very, very big bottle. It has to fall off the shelf and it has to hit you in the head in the right way for it to kill you. So that we have patients who, when they're impulsively upset and take a handful of this stuff, they still don't die. And that's one of the reasons why when this medicine came out on the market, you found that lots and lots of people were put on this medication by their internist, by their OBGYN, by their family practitioner, because there was a sense that it was so safe. So these medicines basically plug up the drain, so to speak, in your brain where serotonin could drain out and keeps serotonin around. So it's a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. So if you ate pure serotonin, it would go through your kidneys and your liver, and it's out of your system before getting to the brain. When you take Prozac, it takes several weeks to work. It eventually gets to the blood-brain barrier, and what you have is it's stopping your serotonin that your brain is producing from being eliminated too quickly.